Our attention in week 6 will be focused on Jeremiah. Jeremiah is the second of the major prophets, and actually he wrote two books, Jeremiah and Lamentations. Jeremiah is a man who truly bears his soul to his readers. He is one who's not afraid to speak of his personal struggles with his own calling of God to be a prophet to the nation, and he actually argues with God. A couple of times he even accuses God of deceiving him. So he's a very, very important character to study because he shows us the human struggle that we sometimes go through in fulfilling our own calling of God, because God sometimes calls us into a difficult situation and gives us a difficult message to proclaim in that situation. And Jeremiah is called in a difficult time, of course. He's called to minister to the people in a time when God's judgment is about to fall. As a matter of fact, it's such a difficult time that God gives him a sixfold challenge in his calling in chapter 1, verse 10. And four parts of that challenge is negative. He tells Jeremiah that he's going to be used in a negative ministry to tear down and destroy. And Jeremiah knows from the very beginning that he is going to face a difficult task in proclaiming this hard message to his people. But he proves to be faithful in his calling, and it cost him dearly. It cost him relationships with his family. It causes him to be imprisoned. It causes him to be accused of siding with the Babylonians. It causes him to experience such heartache and trouble. And so it is sometimes with the calling of God. God sometimes calls us, and we might be able to somehow, in some ways, identify with Jeremiah because we might feel that God has called us and placed us in a very difficult situation. And there are a lot of parallels that we can see because in our modern day and in America, we're seeing the decline of the church, and many preachers are now being called to preach a hard message, a rather harsh message in light of the societal situation, and calling us to be a voice, calling the people of God back to him. And so in some ways, we might be able to personally identify with some of the struggle that Jeremiah goes through. Pay careful attention to his message, because his message is one that reminds the people of Judah that just because they have the temple of God, just because they have that place of worship, it doesn't mean that they have the presence of God nor are experiencing the power of God. Rather, that the presence of God and the power of God is being withdrawn because of their turning their backs on him. And the message is very bleak, but it also is a message of hope, that there is message for the people that God is going to bring about a new covenant with them. And of course, the ultimate fulfillment of that is in Jesus Christ. But that God is not turning his people over to total destruction and total annihilation, but rather there is a message of hope contained in this message of judgment and wrath. So it's a very, very interesting, powerful book, and I encourage you to read as much of the book as possible. If you can't read all of the book, I would encourage you to try to read the first 20 chapters of Jeremiah this week, because in those first 20 chapters, we have the ministry set forth, and we have the struggle clearly seen between Jeremiah and God, and the struggle that he has in fulfilling this difficult ministry that God has assigned him to. So God bless you in your work this week. I look forward to seeing your reports and your assignments turned in. Pay attention to the forum question that I've set for this week, and please give me some feedback on that. And please know that the forum responses will go into the final averaging of your grade. So if you're not participating in the forums, then that will cause a deduction in your final grade for the course. So please know that, and to participate in the forum questions that we have each week. God bless you again, and I'll see you again next week by web video.